4 years ago, I didn't know what a videographer was. 4 years ago, it didn't cross my mind to start a YouTube channel, especially not with my face in front of it. But now, that's what I do. That's so much of who I am right now. So what happened? Why did I have no idea 4 years ago? And no, it's not because I hadn't tried it before. Hey everyone, I'm Eric Wynn, and today we're gonna unpack some of the things that distract us from getting clarity about what we're doing, why we're doing it, and where we're going. The reason why I didn't know what a videographer was 4 years ago, the reason why I did not start a YouTube channel 4 years ago was because I wasn't asking the right question. The blinders were on. I had a path that sort of just formed in front of me and I just walked along it with my head down. This happens a lot, and here's some ways how. Scenario 1. It's easy and I'm good at it. We do not hear this enough. Just because something's easy for you, just because you're good at something, doesn't mean that's what you have to do. For instance, for me, school has been a huge thing that's always come easily to me. It's made perfect sense. Especially math and science. I can't really explain why. Because school and these subjects came naturally to me, there started to form this sort of broken logic in my head, which was, this is easy for me. This must mean that I love this and I want to do this for the rest of my life. In college, when I was wrestling between videography and pre-med, my dad, who is a doctor himself, said, you know, it'd be pretty bad if you became a doctor and you didn't actually want to be a doctor. If you didn't actually want to help people in that way. It would become very frustrating very quickly, and it probably would affect patients. And so in this very real way, just because I was good with the test scores or, you know, playing this game towards becoming a doctor didn't mean that that was actually the best path for me. Scenario 2. It feels great and it feels super safe. It is much easier to accept and not question things that directly make us feel good or distract us from feeling bad. Being good at school, this game that everyone sort of put on a pedestal, that felt great. It very easily became a part of my identity because it made me feel proud. It also very easily swept me away with a false sense of security. It was very comfortable to think, because I'm good at school, because I'm smart, I will definitely succeed, I will definitely have a future. And it was very uncomfortable and scary to think of a reality where I wasn't doing math or science for work. So with all those things that we invest tons of time into, it's always good to have an awareness, to be able to question, am I doing this because I have passion, purpose, clarity, trajectory, or is it just because it feels good, or it feels comfortable, or it helps me avoid uncomfortable feelings? Third scenario, success. This one is super tricky because a lot of the times hard work, time, blood, sweat, tears are all involved. And a lot of times success comes in the form of things that we definitely don't want to lose, like reputation, money, social circles. There's lots of examples of this, but today I actually wanted to share the screen with a fellow YouTube creator, Jesse Lane.
Dude, Eric, first of all, thank you so much for having me on your channel. This is so cool. I'm from Florida, you're from California. We can just connect. 2013, I started this YouTube channel, right? It's now called Jesse Lane. I combined two passions of mine at the time. I liked playing guitar and I liked making videos. Boom, so I combined the two, and on paper, I was succeeding. I had the views, I had the subscribers, I had tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views on some of those videos, but I started feeling like, wait, this isn't who I want to be in the long term. I didn't want to just become that guitar guy on YouTube. Even though I was seeing success, I felt that a pivot in a new direction, even though uncomfortable, was what I needed to do. I've now turned the formerly guitar channel into my main channel where I'm documenting the journey of life and business. So just because you're succeeding at something on paper doesn't mean you should necessarily continue, you know, blindly walking down this path. It's important to see the end of your path. You need to visualize the fact that I'm moving in the direction where I can see myself in 40 years and I'm stoked.
Thanks, Jesse. That was awesome. Now for the last scenario. I call it sort of the noble cause / greater good distraction. I remember this conversation I had beginning of college where this lady stops me on the phone and she's like, you know what, I just want to thank you for all the ways that you're sacrificing. Choosing harder classes, choosing higher pressure, choosing, you know, to study instead of hanging out with your friends, all so that you can get that higher GPA, get into better schools, and someday change lives and really make a big difference. And I was like, wow, that is so touching. That I'm so happy to be part of this bigger thing. That lady was so nice. But left unchecked, stuff like that can sometimes get super distracting because when your path is so directly linked with the greater good, changing the world, it can start to feel super wrong to ever question that or look to other options. But you've got to remember, just because something you do is life-changing doesn't mean that that is the best way for you to change lives. I should probably wrap it up here. There's a whole other set of distractions I could talk about in a different video, but for right now, remember this. You are ultimately the one responsible for what path you're on, and it's super important that you don't accidentally end up on any path, and it's super important that you don't ever let anyone else decide what your path is going to be. Just because something's easy or feels good doesn't mean that you're on the right path. Just because you're finding success with something objectively doesn't mean that that's what you should be doing. I think this can be confusing because we know it's super important to know our voice, know our strengths, know our whatever. So why are we questioning all of it now? It is super important to know what you're good at, know what comes easily, know what your voice is, know where you thrive. But the important distinction to make is you have to know why. And these strengths should not be dictating what path you're on. They should be giving you clues, inputs, so that you personally know what path you want to make for yourself. Thanks guys for listening. I'm Eric Wen, young adult, pumped passionate about sharing stories to encourage and hopefully give you an opportunity to think more deeply. I wish I had heard some of this stuff 4 years ago. And so if you guys know a young person sort of in the college age or someone who is starting to question their path, it would mean so much if you could share this video and connect me with them. Thank you, Jesse, for helping me share my message today. It was awesome working with you. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.